This video is about how to know if you're making the right decision to break up and end your relationship. And in my opinion, there are 4 clear signs that you are indeed making the right decision. And to find out what those signs are, please stay tuned to this video. Welcome to the SCG Show, the home of education entertainment, and please do me a favor, if you really enjoyed this video, smash that like button, I would really appreciate it. So let's assume you're considering breaking up with your partner, or perhaps you already have broken up with your partner. Well, there are one of 2 logical scenarios that can occur. You either stay together for longer and things improve if you decide not to break up, or you break up and you start recovering until you're ready to date again. If you're watching this video right now, let me try to reassure you that you are not alone. There are plenty of couples who are in similar situations for many different reasons. Perhaps maybe they drifted apart over time, or kids and overheads expenses have made life extremely hard and difficult, or circumstances have changed. Whatever, the world is always and always will be changing. The happiest and healthiest of couples, however, adapt and evolve and work as a team. They go through the eye of the storm. The toxic relationships, however, wither and die very quickly, and sometimes it can take a couple of years, especially if they do not adapt to or take care of what needs to be taken care of. But maybe it was your fault. Maybe you ignored the red flags of this toxic relationship and thought you could actually change your partner. I've been there, okay? Or maybe it's their fault. Or without any reason, things have just gotten harder, difficult, depressing. Before I reveal these clear signs, I want to emphasize the point right now. Relationships are not easy. Stop living in a fantasy world where things are going to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. You will fight and argue. You will experience tough times. You'll get tired and bored of each other. But the couples that have the same goals, desires, and can compromise fight these battles and get through to the other side. If you're dating a toxic person, such as a narcissist, you need to get out ASAP. And as someone who's walked away from narcissists myself, it's vital to do so. But if that is not the case, here are the 4 signs that you're making the right decision to break up. The first clear sign you're breaking up for the right reason is because you have completely different relationship goals. Now, what do I mean by relationship goal? Ultimately, every potential relationship has a goal for each person. Some want to be married with kids, or they just want to live together and have a life partner, or they just want to date and have an open relationship, whatever. Before entering a relationship of any kind, it's vital you're both on the same page. Time and time again, couples split because they ultimately never wanted the same thing. Some might say, but I've been with you for 10 years, why are we still not married? Or maybe because the other person never wanted to get married. And what usually happens is people will convince themselves that the longer they're together, maybe they'll change their minds. Let me ask you a question, and please be honest with your answer. How often do you genuinely change your mind? Also, how easy is it for you to change your opinion on something? I can imagine it's not easy, and not often at all. A woman I know dated a man for 10 years and thought she could change his mind on marriage. He was in love with her, but just wanted to be a couple. He was against getting married. He was happy with the way it was. But she arrogantly believed she could change him and persuade him, and she failed. And on their 10th anniversary, she ranted and raved that she was still not married, to which he calmly replied, "But I never promised you that we'd be married." Who has made the promises in your relationship? Have they been genuinely there, or have you invented them in your head? I know it may seem harsh, but ultimately the responsibility lies with us. You dated them, you married them, you chose to love them. You are now watching videos deciding to leave. The buck stops and starts with you. You need to have a heart-to-heart with your partner to discuss your relationship goals, and if you cannot agree or compromise on them at all, you need to break up. Number 2, you're no longer attracted to them. Can you wake up to your partner's face every morning for the rest of your life? While this may be a really superficial statement, it does answer the following. Are you no longer attracted to your partner? Not just physically, but mentally. Whilst they may be gorgeous or they may have a fantastic personality, are you attracted to them still? Or were you never attracted to them? Are you finding it hard to be attracted to them? Your partner should be your haven. Life is tough and miserable in general. Coming home and spending time with your partner should be fun and exciting. You should want to hug, squeeze, kiss, make love to them. You should feel butterflies in your stomach, especially when they get themselves all dolled up for date night. Never the opposite. A good-looking guy I once went to school with was a chronic moaner. He always moaned about everything and anything. He then once started dating a lovely girl who was really attracted to him. However, the longer they were together, the more annoying his moaning got. He'd moan about the weather, politics, how cold his food was. He'd moan and moan and moan. Then when they went on vacation, this woman thought to herself, if he moans one more time, I'm going to crack. So on their second night of their vacation, in a beautiful resort, they went to a special restaurant overlooking the ocean. It was amazing. And as they sat down, he once again moaned about mosquitoes, of all things. This calm and patient woman was immediately annoyed and snapped. And she said, I can't take this anymore. I am no longer attracted to you. And she took the next flight home alone. Attraction is not just about looks on the outside. It is how our relationship feels on the inside. I once dated a beautiful woman. However, her personality made her ugly. She was in fact a narcissist. If you're no longer attracted to your partner, it is the right decision to break up. Now, this one should not be a surprise, but if a line has been crossed or a boundary has not been met, you've been disrespected, abused, etc., it's time to break up. A sleazy man I know once got caught cheating on his wife. By doing so, she kicked him out and of course was devastated. But what happened to him? He knew he messed up and he begged for forgiveness, which she stupidly allowed and accepted. Fast forward 10 years later, and this couple, if you want to call them that, are still together. The husband still regularly and openly cheats on his wife. He takes complete advantage of her. He is rude, disrespectful, selfish, ungrateful, a real toxic person. And when asked why does she not want to break up with him, she just shrugs her shoulders and starts crying. If you give people an inch these days, they will really take a mile. With narcissism on the rise, it's a very worrying time indeed to put your trust in the wrong people. Meaning that if you allow yourself continuously to be abused and manipulated, people will continue, unfortunately, to take advantage of you. Please do not be like the weak-minded wife who allowed the cheating husband back. Stand up for yourself. Clarify what are some absolute red flags and inexcusable acts against you, things you'll not tolerate. For example, lying, cheating, stealing, abuse, violence, manipulation, addiction of any kind, stealing money from you, bullying, not getting along with your family, choosing not to get along with their family, selfishness, gaslighting, smear campaigns. If a line has been crossed and you've been hurt badly, break up ASAP. The final sign to know you're making the right decision to break up is you are more unhappy than happy with your relationship and your partner. And trust me, life is so short to waste it being unhappy. Life will do a rather good job of being tough and difficult and unhappy on its own. Therefore, why choose to suffer even more in an unhappy, miserable relationship? A couple I knew were miserable with each other from the very beginning. When they went out to eat, they would barely speak or look at each other. They hardly ever laughed or joked. In fact, on their wedding day, their faces looked serious and miserable. They married out of convenience, as their families got along well and insisted and pressured them into it. Then one day, the wife decided she wanted to experience happiness in her life and realized she wasn't getting it in her marriage. So she decided to get a calendar and see how many days in a month she would be happy with her husband. She put like a little smiley face for happy days, sad face for sad days. It was a straight 30 days of miserable. They went out and did activities together though, but ultimately No matter what they did, they just weren't a good match at all. And this happens. And they divorced, and they both found new partners and have now actually started new families. And when you look back at them now, it's actually like chalk and cheese. They have grins on their face, like the Cheshire Cat. They're smiling all the time. They're laughing constantly, and they actually have beautiful kids. If you're unhappy and miserable for whatever reason in your relationship, it's a sign. It's a sign that the grass is greener elsewhere. Find and associate with somebody better suited for your love, your relationship. Never force a relationship out of convenience to suit other people for superficial reasons. This is your life we're talking about. Grab it by the horns. And thank you so much for watching this video.